been treated better than I ever have been as a WNBA player. Now, that is the comment there that is raising eyebrows amongst fans in regards to Kelsey Plum, stating that she's been treated better so far than she has ever been as a...
I've been treated better than I ever have been as a WNBA player. Those words from Kelsey Plum just 2 minutes ago aren't what they seem. This wasn't gratitude. This was the sound of a prisoner taking her first breath of freedom. For years, the basketball world bought into a beautiful lie about the Las Vegas Aces, a glittering dynasty, a championship family built on trust and excellence. But Kelsey Plum's carefully chosen words just shattered that illusion forever. What we're about to reveal will change everything you thought you knew about the most dominant team in women's basketball. The story they've spent millions to hide is finally coming to light, and it's more devastating than anyone could have imagined. Kelsey Plum wasn't just an unhappy superstar who wanted more playing time. She was the first victim to escape a system so toxic, so controlling, that it turned champions into casualties. Her escape has triggered a chain reaction that's bringing down an entire empire, and what's left behind is shocking everyone who dared to look closer. You see, the Las Vegas Aces were never really a basketball team. They were a marketing machine, a carefully crafted brand designed to sell one simple story to the world. That story had one main character, Aya Wilson. She was the chosen one, the centerpiece, the sun around which every other player was forced to orbit. And anyone who dared to shine too bright, anyone who threatened that perfect narrative, became a problem that needed to be managed. Kelsey Plum, with her explosive scoring ability and burning ambition to lead, represented everything the machine feared most, a threat to their controlled story. Look at what she was producing on the court night after night. Nearly 18 points per game, over 4 assists, almost 3 rebounds, all while helping deliver back-to-back championships. These aren't the numbers of a role player grateful for her spot.
Basically, Kelsey Plum wanted to get the hell away from them, meaning Becky, Hammon, and A'ja Wilson. And I'm here to tell you guys, it is looking like that way because none other than Kelsey Plum actually fired shots at the Las Vegas. Throughout the offseason, there has been a lot of chatter behind the scenes in regards to the Las Vegas Aces. The Las Vegas Aces team was completely derailed at the conclusion of the season, which leaving a lot of people to speculate what the hell is.
These are the statistics of a superstar screaming to break free, proving through pure talent that she deserved so much more than what they were willing to give. But here's the twisted part. Her excellence wasn't seen as an asset to celebrate. It was a variable that needed to be controlled, a fire that had to be contained before it burned too bright and overshadowed their carefully constructed narrative. The machine had made its choice, and Kelsey Plum's dreams were the price they were willing to pay. The whispers started quietly, but they grew into a roar that echoed through every corner of the WNBA. Sources close to the situation began speaking out, and their language was impossible to ignore. Kelsey wanted to get the hell away from them, one insider revealed, referring directly to coach Becky Hammon and Aya Wilson herself. This wasn't professional disappointment we were hearing about. This was desperation, the raw emotion of someone who felt trapped in a role she'd completely outgrown, suffocated by a system that refused to see her potential. Behind the scenes in Vegas, chaos was erupting. The season had ended, but instead of celebration, there was turmoil. Players were questioning everything. The front office was scrambling, and the cracks in their perfect facade were becoming impossible to hide. The family atmosphere they'd marketed so aggressively to fans and media was revealing itself as nothing more than a rigid hierarchy designed to crush any ambition that didn't serve their predetermined story. Then came the confession that broke everyone's hearts and exposed the true depth of this tragedy. In a moment of raw vulnerability, Kelsey Plum revealed her greatest fear, the thought of sitting with her grandchildren one day, wondering what could have been. I would hate to have grandkids sitting on the couch and just being like, I wonder if... She couldn't even finish the sentence, but she didn't need to. This was an elite athlete at the peak of her career, a champion who had already conquered the sport's highest levels, admitting that her own team was forcing her to live with the possibility of eternal regret. She wasn't asking for special treatment or unreasonable opportunities. She was pleading for the simple chance to discover how great she could become, to find out if she really had what it took to be the leader she believed herself.
Are about it. You really believe that you are as good as you think you are, and you really think you can impact winning at the highest level.
Only one way to find out.
There's only one way to find out. And kind of also too, you also have to have a coach that is no, that's exactly
what is it to be the leader? What is it to be the head of the snake? That kind of a vibe. Feels like you just wanted to know. You needed to know.
Yeah, I would hate to have grandkids sitting on the couch and just being I wonder if I would have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sounded creepy, but
no, not at all. I totally get it. Yeah, you don't want to regret.
To be. But Becky Hammon and the Aces leadership had already made their decision. In their house, under their system, she would never get that chance. The Machine's narrative was more important than any individual dream, no matter how talented or deserving that individual might be. This wasn't about basketball strategy or team chemistry. This was about power, control, and protecting a brand at any cost. They were already winning games, already capturing championships, but that wasn't enough. They needed complete dominance over every story, every narrative, every player who might complicate their simple message to the world. The Machine's true nature was put on full display when Kelsey's personal life fell apart in the most public way imaginable. In early 2024, she endured a painful, widely publicized divorce that she later admitted really broke me. This moment should have been the ultimate test of the Aces' so-called family culture. A real family would have rallied around her, provided unconditional support, created a protective shield while she healed from such devastating personal trauma. But the Las Vegas Machine doesn't deal in humanity. It only understands assets and liabilities. Kelsey's emotional pain wasn't seen as an opportunity to demonstrate genuine care for one of their stars. Instead, it was viewed as a potential threat to their pristine brand image, something that needed to be managed rather than supported. While she publicly credited her coaches as a safe space, her actions told the real story. The moment a way out appeared, she ran without looking back.
Is swift and brutal.
So, for all Aces fans, it's over. It's over. It's over. The reign of the Aces is over. I understand the shortest dynasty in the history of the sport of basketball. You know, I've never heard of a dynasty that won 2 championships and then was done, because you're seeing all the ring-chasing free agents.
The organization she found refuge with gave her something the Aces never could. The overwhelming sense of being truly valued as a human being first and a player second. I feel very loved, she said about her new team, and those simple words carry the weight of an indictment. You never realize you've been starving until someone finally offers you a real meal. Her gratitude toward her new organization wasn't just appreciation. It was a direct condemnation of the cold, transactional environment she'd escaped. Las Vegas could give her championship rings, pieces of metal to commemorate team success, but they couldn't provide the one thing she desperately needed: genuine care for the person wearing the jersey. They couldn't see past the statistics and marketing value to recognize the broken spirit of someone who just needed to be seen, valued, and supported as a complete human being. But here's where the story gets even more explosive. Kelsey's escape didn't happen in isolation. It triggered a silent mutiny that exposed just how many other players have been feeling the exact same suffocating pressure. Her courage to break free showed every other trap star that there was indeed a path to freedom, and they began following it in droves. Kate Martin was next, and while the organization tried to spin her departure as a simple expansion draft casualty, her own words revealed the truth. "I'm really excited for this new beginning," she said, and the relief in her voice was unmistakable. Young players on dynasty teams don't celebrate leaving. They mourn the opportunity they're losing. Martin's excitement was actually corroboration of everything Kelsey had experienced. Another vote of no confidence in a culture that was rotting from the inside. Then the floodgates opened completely. Sydney Colson, the team's vibrant emotional leader and Aya Wilson's own best friend, abandoned ship for Indiana. Think about that for a moment. Wilson's closest teammate chose to leave rather than continue operating within that toxic system. Tiffany Hayes, widely regarded as one of the league's most valuable bench players, made the stunning decision to join a brand new expansion team rather than stay with what was supposed to be the best organization in women's basketball. Alicia Clark, a veteran champion who understood what winning culture actually looked like, chose the comfort and genuine community of her former team over the hollow glory of Las Vegas. This wasn't coincidence or bad luck. This was a pattern, a mass rejection of everything the machine represented. These players were voting with their feet, and their unified message was crystal clear. The dynasty was built on a foundation of lies. Kelsey Plum wasn't a disgruntled employee who couldn't handle her role. She was the whistleblower who gave everyone else the courage to speak their truth and escape their own gilded cages. Her bravery created a domino effect that's still toppling the entire corrupt structure. The supreme irony is that the machine built to protect Aya Wilson is now consuming her completely. She's become the lonely queen of a crumbling empire, watching helplessly as everything around her collapses. Even she can't defend the system anymore, and her own words reveal the devastating personal cost of this organizational failure. It's not going to be the same group, and I'm sad about that, she admitted, and you can hear the defeat in every syllable. This is the sound of a leader who was promised eternal glory, but instead finds herself abandoned amidst the wreckage of a project that was supposed to last forever. The machine turned on its own creation, leaving her to face the consequences of its toxicity while everyone else fled to healthier environments. The basketball world's verdict has been swift and brutal. Analysts and fans are calling it the shortest dynasty in the history of the sport, a reign that lasted exactly 2 championships before imploding from internal rot. Never before has a supposedly dominant team lost so much talent so quickly, and the reasons are becoming impossible to ignore. But the player exodus is just the tip of the iceberg. The real scandal lies in the systematic leadership failures that created this toxic environment in the first place. The Aces have been operating without a legitimate general manager, leaving a multi-million-dollar roster to twist in the wind without proper organizational structure. Coach Becky Hammon, who has already been suspended by the league for violating workplace respect policies, is reportedly trying to seize even more control in the chaos. This isn't simple mismanagement. This is an active cover-up of deeper institutional problems. The organization's history reads like a catalog of violations and scandals they've been desperately trying to outrun. They were punished by the WNBA and stripped of a first-round draft pick for discriminating against a player simply for being pregnant. They're reportedly under federal investigation for making illegal under-the-table payments to players, potentially violating salary cap rules and competitive fairness. The machine wasn't just holding Kelsey Plum back to protect a marketing narrative. It was breaking rules, violating trust, and crushing spirits to maintain a fragile illusion of power and control. They had to enforce absolute dominance because they had too many secrets to hide, too many violations to cover up. Kelsey Plum didn't just change teams in free agency. She pulled the first thread on a corrupt tapestry that's now completely unraveling before our eyes. Her escape exposed the truth that everyone in that building already knew, but was too afraid to say out loud. The Las Vegas Aces were never the family they pretended to be. The question isn't whether this dynasty is dead. That verdict is already final. The question now is what other crimes, what other violations, what other broken spirits will be exposed as the rest of this corrupt machine burns to the ground. Kelsey Plum's silence has been broken, and her words are echoing through every corner of women's basketball, inspiring others to speak their truth and demand the respect they've always deserved. The gilded cage is empty now, and everyone can finally see it for what it always was, a prison designed to break dreams in service of a lie. Kelsey Plum found her freedom, and in doing so, she's given every other player permission to demand theirs too.